Previously on Inspiring Today.
Navio!
Yep.
Yeah.
Rubaga. Who's harder? Shoot locker. Gotta make the move to suit lockers.
Yeah.
From situations as hairy as Chewbacca. Chewbacca with the kabaka. Too proper. Hey!
You create Clearcut. How does it come about with that urban sound, urban name, urban branding, everything?
Clearcut started because one of the members is called Langman.
Langman, yeah.
He was at school with us when we were kids, 6, 7 years old. We're in a place called Molo in Kenya, going to school. On the other side, he comes back after he finishes and he starts going to school here at Hillside, which is now this way, Wankurukuku. So when he finishes up, we come back for a holiday.
Yeah.
He meets up with us friends. We're rapping. That's me and JB.
Oh.
Then another week he meets up, back with his boys in school, and he's like Papito and Myth, and they're rapping. Myth is way ahead of us lyrically. That's like he was untouchable.
Like he was.
Yeah, he still is untouchable. So,
sure.
So yeah, so he was way ahead of us lyrically, but it's like, oh yeah, I have my 2 friends who are rapping. Come through and meet them. So we met up, we linked up at DV8, and we were thrown straight into the fire. They're like, who's the next group? Remember, we all came from our 2 schools, so we had Hillsiders riding with 30 or so other students. I started going to Aga Khan as well for a while, so we'd be like 40 of us. This stuff the guys doing, being in entourages nowadays. For us, it was just a lifestyle. Like we'd come straight from school, and go to these talent shows and try to compete. Yeah, for the prize. Whether it was prize money or merchandise or shots from whoever was putting on the show. We are always ready to compete, and that served us really well. How do you use a microphone? How far can I get before the microphone cuts off? Why is the crowd not cheering when I do this? Why is the crowd cheering when I do that? What sort of crowd is this? All of those lessons were learned inside that performance area. DV8, right behind the first cinema. Behind the first Cineplex. So, yeah, it was a long thing.
So who comes with the name Clearcut?
It came because we were 40.
Oh,
when we arrive at the club, and
though
then
we
after
names.
we become about 20 on stage, and then after that we said, guys, we turned to our boys, we're like, listen, some of you are not even rapping, you're just going 1, 2, 3, 4 ero meno p on the microphone. So we're like, all right, let's sort out who really wants to do this. And it was just us 5 that stepped forward. And so when you get a diamond, I ain't gotta tell you Congolese about diamonds. You get your diamond,
they know,
and you take off the stones and everything, and the diamond becomes clear cut.
Purely.
Yeah, it becomes a clear cut diamond.
A clear cut.
Clear cut diamond. So we always felt like we were diamonds in the rough. No swag or shabby, sportsy, coming to whatever. So we polished off, became the 5 members, found our sound, and we became a clear cut diamond. That's how it came.
Who was the
diamonds? Last forever.
And I just imagine who was there to put you down, to shape you.
Yeah, man.
Maybe that talent show.
Yeah, we had the talent shows, but like they say, steel sharpens steel. So back then you had
that one which is said is chuma who know a chuma in Kiswahili. Yeah.
So we had people like Lyrical G, some of the guys who came before us. The Squad. Bataka, when the Crazy Native and DJ Momo, before he passed away, were in there. Later on, much later, you had the Babas who came through. I have to say, I never saw a lot of the other rappers who claimed they were there, but we were kind of the guys who were there. Sylvester and Abrams were also a big part of what we did there. The music keepers, because we all used to perform off one CD.
Yeah.
So they'd put we'd go to the internet cafe on the corner. Sometimes we find Baby Cool there, and we put 30 tracks, 30 instrumentals. Then we know that us guys are doing 1 to 5. Then Sylvester and Abrams come on, they're doing 6 to whatever. then the squad
others
comes on.
pick.
Yeah, so we all used to perform off one CD. It was a real brotherhood.
It was for the love of it.
Absolutely.
For the passion.
Absolutely.
That's so different for sure to have learned those basic morals at that tender age.
Yeah.
But also, when we talk about music, hip-hop music, we talk about Clearcut. That's what I'm focusing on there.
Yes.
Because you set a benchmark of hip-hop.
Yeah.
I think, is it you guys that, can you say you brought Luga-Flow?
I can say that we brought Uga-Flow, definitely.
Uga-Flow.
And we were the biggest pushers of Luga-Flow. Before Luga-Flow was a lot of Luganda rappers.
Yeah.
So Luga, it hadn't been translated to Swahili to mean Luga like languages, right?
Yeah.
That was something that AY from Tanzania coined the phrase Luga. He's the one who turned to Babaluko and said, man, you know, Luga means languages. So you should take on all indigenous peoples under Luga-Flow. So before it was just, you know, I'm a Muganda, we're here in Rubaga. It was just Luganda Flow.
Luganda.
Yes, Flow in Luganda. That's it. And that is what we used to push. So I even made T-shirts and whatnot because, you know, I'm patriotic, especially about the industry. And I thought that movement needed more juice. It needed more emphasis and whatnot. So as well as pushing Clearcut, I was one of the guys pushing Luga-Flow almost the most. So imagine how surprised I was. When elements in Luga-Flow was started to be like, Navio, what are you doing here? Why are you rapping in your English? I'm like, I'm supporting you guys. I'm even making your T-shirts. Y'all can't support what I'm doing? You know what I mean? Y'all know I've been in the Civil War. A lot of us have been out of the country, but we're still talented. You know, there's a lot of guys who were younger. Atlas, you know, a lot of guys who maybe, you know, can't speak their mother tongue, but they still represent. So I still don't know where there was such a big disconnect and how it caused so much friction. But that was part of the reason why hip-hop is not as high as it should be now, and we're struggling to bring it back. So big up to all the other guys who are doing it right now, man.
Big up to you. We shall mention a few names, but here we are back in the days where there were no there. You had a Cora nomination in 2000?
2002.
2002.
Yes, and then 2008. So 2002 was with Clearcut.
Okay.
And that was for most promising group in Africa.
That's 2002.
Yeah, and Revelation of the Year. Wow. So, and we didn't even know we were getting the second one, you know, but there was like, basically it was to the group who just surprised the people who just did like amazing wonders. So I think Koffi Olomide had a crazy tour.
Yeah.
He was in that category. Or 𝐕𝐴𝐳𝐈𝐳 had released that song that was on a movie, you know. It was just that Revelation of the Year. And they put Clearcut there as Revelation of the Year because they were like, wow, these guys
have
really
brought in a
new energy, exactly. You're just a revelation. What a revelation. Put them in Revelation of the Year. And then, of course, Most Promising. So to be nominated in those two was something, it was something beautiful. And, you know, 14, 15-year-old kids, you know, on getting on the jet, walking to first class.
That's big. Where were they? Where were they held?
They were in South Africa.
South Africa.
Yeah, South
and mind
Africa.
you had been to South Africa before.
Yes, I had. I had been. Yes.
Though we skipped that part, you'll read for yourself.
Yes.
Because
I was there after the first time. So the second time we were nominated, we did percussion discussion, and that was mad.
That was really crazy.
That was really crazy.
But apart from that, which was like a surprise I expect to you, but also you had Palm Awards.
Yes, amazing.
And it was a win, I think.
Yeah,
it was a win.
Yeah, we I think we had won. Was it a video of the year? I don't know if they had video then. But best hip hop.
Best hip hop group.
Yeah, hip hop crew and something else. Yeah, we won quite a few in our time, but I think one of the main issues was that they're judging at that point. I'm not sure if it was the first time we got nominated or the second, but I think Obsessions, which was a dance group,
I remember,
won best hip hop. And for us, that was such a big slap in the face, and it showed us people still don't understand
how these awards
what this rap thing is about. You know, so it was very unfortunate, but we remedied it, and once, you know, they knew what hip hop really was, you know, we came out as winners, so no complaints there.
But we are talking about Palm Awards. Maybe some of you may not understand how big, how intense these awards. You can take them as the Grammys back then in Uganda.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those were
East Africa, huge,
very huge. Actually.
I mean, and done on a level, you know, like you
standard.
See, yeah, like how awards are now, 20 years, 21 years later. It's the same class that those were done with.
Wow.
But of course, instead of LED, you know, we on projectors, you know what I mean, and stuff. So that's the only difference. But in terms of staging, lights, the acrobatics, fashionistas, people coming out, and it felt like more alive because
the full ceremony.
Yeah, because everyone was doing this, right?
Wow.
Everyone was trying to take a selfie. Nowadays, well, back in those days, we were there to look at who won, talk, discuss, eat food together. You know, it really felt like we're not just coming to now show who's the best at fashion on the red carpet.
It was not
we're coming to really engage, you know, and celebrate each other.
And actually, I could say that back then I was still in Congo, but since I'm a history enthusiast, I had to go deep in that. But those awards were really intense for sure, because I can compare. We can still compare them to some awards which are held on today.
20 years later.
20 years later, just
21
imagine.
years later.
21 years later. I don't know why they stopped. I need to dig deep, but
yeah, I mean, it's a big financial burden. You went on to have like an amazing events company as well. You know, Mulindwa. It was 𝐈𝐧𝐬𝐭𝐳 behind it, and went on to
you.
He was still working with events, minus just Silk Events, his own events company, which now is huge. And there was a lot of things that he did. He set up, you know, the first hip hop station as well. That shows his love for hip hop through Hot 100. So he became a tycoon of sorts, you know, and sometimes doing that as well as taking all the criticism and, you know, trying to put this thing on every year. You're like, where am I going to find that 600 million? It takes a lot out of you.
It takes a lot. It takes a lot, and some like days are not the same. You get and you don't get. But after Clearcut bringing the vibe, the new energy, we got lost, or we lost Clearcut in the radar, in the music. Why?
We went back to school. People always be like, man, hey, Raga Dancehall came, man. I'm like, no. We can't be the #1 group in Africa and just disappear. It didn't happen. It didn't. You don't go from, you know, having lunches with the Kofi Olomide and, you know, meeting presidents. You don't just fall off. We had made a promise. We were gonna go back to school. We were the first group, I think, to get get paid $1 million to perform, and we were just kids. So this money was coming in every week. We're performing like crazy for a year, and then, you know, our parents were like, okay, they made a deal with us. They're like, you guys can continue this for a while, but you got to go and get your degrees and then start again. So, you know, Langman went off to Germany. I went off to South Africa. The Myth went off to Asia. Everyone split apart. JB went back to the States, so everyone was apart. And so we had no choice but to
just accept the reality.
Accept the reality. I kept my name alive because I was in SA. South Africa was close, right? Close enough. So I'd be flying back, and I'd make sure I drop a hit. That's how I kept relevant. So I'd come back. Let me see you band with Blue 3. Let them run with it. Yeah, but imagine I'd release it. I'd do maybe 2-3 shows. Then I have to leave. So now for the other 150 shows, the girls are performing, getting the money. Me, I'm back in school, doing my thing. I come back for another holiday.
You bang
drop a song called Kawa. Come back again, same thing. Come back, drop a song with Peter Miles, Ruckus. Go back. And, you know, my stuff was playing on MTV and Channel O and stuff. And I'm like, oh, wow, this is so cool. I'm in school while I'm watching it. People are calling me, yo, your stuff's playing. I'm like, what? Oh, the thing I shot in the holiday. So that's how I kind of kept my name alive.
We didn't talk of the name.
Yes, Navio. I blame the Congolese. The French-speaking side. I blame the Congolese for this one. There was an exchange program from YMCA. And there was some French-speaking Congolese, so my nickname became Avion. Avion, what's that?
Avion, that's
flight.
A plane.
A plane,
yeah.
Okay. So yeah, plane or flight or something. So they would say every time I got the ball, I used to, like basketball became my number one passion. Above music, above anything else.
Yeah.
You know, I was doing basketball like 4 or 5 hours a week, so 4 or 5 hours a day. So I was like super intense with as far as sports in general.
Yes,
and then with basketball, like I had like a 44-inch vertical. I was dunking, you know, tomahawks, 360. Like basketball was my life. I was super fast. I know I don't look like it now, but I was super quick.
Yeah.
And yeah, I used to get, you know, all sorts of medals and accolades and whatnot. That was really dope. At the same point in time, the dunk contest is where people used to see, or when I go for a rebound, they'd be like, yeah, like an avion. Well, like an avion. Just so they make that sound, you know, you know, like a jet going by every time I get the ball, and they'd be like, avion, 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 avion. Now, our Baganda would hear the guys saying, avion, 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 navio, 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 navio. So it went from avion to Navio. So my code name just became Navio. It was a joke on the court.
Sure.
We go to these DV8 talent shows. I'm just about to perform. Mitch, who's now one of the biggest presenters in Africa, runs to me. He's like, "Alright, I'm about to introduce you. What's your name?" I'm like, "My name is Danny." Mitch is like, "Hell no. There's no way. I'm introducing you as the next on the stage is the MC Danny."
Hey, back then they were called the MCs.
So he refused. So I said, well, my only other nickname, you know, Navio. Just say Navio. That's what people call me, Navio. So hey, next on stage, Navio. A week later, we drop our song. Bah, we're all over the newspapers. I'm like, too late to change.
Up next on Inspiring Today.
Even those guys who wipe clean their whole Instagram.
Yeah.
I feel like the journey is as important.
I've just gotten that.
Yeah.
Those guys who wipe clean everything. It's like a trend even Ugandans are copying what Americans are doing.
For me, I want to know where I've come from. I'm a person who doesn't like doing that. Even though when you got a 13-year-old boy, you're gonna have to. But I'm a guy who doesn't like telling people what to do.